2:53. So we turn our attention now to the men's game. And this Baker team, they're coming off a huge win as they knocked off William Penn in Baldwin City Saturday, 88-85, Joe All. So they're coming in here with a whole lot of confidence.
Yeah, and I was talking to one of the assistant coaches, also talking to Sean Dooley, the head coach, but the assistant coach was telling me that Baker led by as many as 17 points in the first half. So sounds like the Wildcats pretty much in control, although it ended up a 3-point game.
But the Wildcats certainly much improved under Sean Dooley, and they're going to be a handful tonight. They're a veteran team. They have a lot of their players back. Well, you had a chance to visit with Sean Dooley. Let's hear those comments.
Okay. All right, chatting now with Baker men's coach Sean Dooley. And wow, Coach, what a big win on Saturday. I've had people tell me, number one, you can't beat William Penn, and number two, you can't hold them under 100 points. You did both on Saturday.
Yeah, and obviously holding them down in the 80s was key for us in getting that victory. Kind of told our guys our goal was actually to keep them in the 70s. Thought if we would do that, we'd have a really strong chance of getting the W. And we did a good job in the first half, but they really came out in the second half, probably like you would expect them to, and we're firing on all cylinders. The first 10 minutes, I think we actually had like an 18-point lead, and that lead got evaporated and found ourselves down 6, even with 6 to go. But credit our guys; they were stuck together and made the plays down the stretch to help us get that win.
Well, and Javion Gray, your leading scorer, averaging almost 13 points a game. He's a pretty exciting player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been our starting point guard since about halfway through his freshman year, and has had some really big games. Kind of got off to a slower start. First three ball games this year, but really had a nice week last week and is playing with a lot of confidence right now. And our guys are doing a good job of finding him too. And I mean, he's the point guard, and the ball starts in his hands, but he's finishing more plays for us. And obviously, he's going to be a key for us tonight if we're going to have any success.
We've had a couple of close losses in conference play to Clark, and then a real close game on the road to Central Methodist. You can even your record at 2-2 in conference against Missouri Valley. And boy, last several years, you and the Vikings have had some real battles.
Yeah, they've been really good the last few years, and I thought we've been competitive with them and played them close, but they've had our numbers. They've made the plays down the stretch. So a lot of our guys return, and we've got several juniors and seniors that have been here for 3 and even 4 years now that remember those games. I fully anticipate this one to be back and forth and tight all the way to the end, just like all our Valley Baker games, but really like how all the games in this league are. And hopefully the experience that these guys have gained over the last few years and even earlier in this conference season will help them, and hopefully we can win some of those close ones.
Chad Lance joins us before we play the Baker Wildcats. And, Coach, going back to Saturday, a loss at Graceland, but I tell you what, there's something about that gym. Every time we go there and play, they get red hot against us. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, definitely. They had a great shooting half in the second half, and we went kind of cold. And hats off to them. They made some plays down the stretch when they needed to, and we just came up short.
Now we take on this Baker team. I looked at the scores Saturday. They knock off William Penn that was in Baldwin City, but still, that's a heck of a win for them.
Well, it's what we talk about all the time, is being prepared night in and night out to face a quality opponent. And it was one of those games where I think everything was working for Baker, and they snuck up on William Penn.
How about this Baker team? What do you know about them? What do they have?
Oh, well, they've got probably one of the most experienced teams coming back. I know in Sean's time, he's got 4 guys that's been with him for 4 years, and they're all guards. 3 of them start, 1 comes off the bench, and then they've got a couple of bigs that's been with them for 2 and 3 years. So they're going to be very physical and kind of be a little bit of a replica of us.
Javion Gray, that's a name that's been around this conference a long time.
All-conference performer for 3 years, freshman of the year, very experienced guard, tough in the open court, and very hard to keep out of the paint in half court.
Coach, it seems like we've played a lot of basketball here in the last couple of weeks. It'd probably be good after tonight to get a couple of days off. These guys probably need a rest, and you probably need one too.
Well, we played a lot of basketball and a lot of conference games, so this is new for all of us. It's new for preparation. It's new for level of importance for our guys to understand and value practice and preparing every day.
What are we going to see tonight? What are you going to have to do against this club?
Well, we're definitely going to have to control their ball screen action and keep them out of the paint. We're going to have to wrestle inside with both of their bigs. that they challenge everything on the glass, so they're going to chase it. So we got to make sure we box out.
All right, Coach, let's get this one to have a happy Thanksgiving, but let's get this one first.
All right, thank you.
So there you've heard from the coaches, Sean Dooley, and also from Chad Lance, and we're about ready for basketball tonight. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. First of all, for the Baker Wildcats, Nathan Guscott, a 6'3" junior in the starting lineup, as is Clay Martin. Clay Martin, a 6'1" sophomore. Javion Gray, boy, we called his name a lot in the last few years, a 6-foot senior, a 4-year starter for this program. Brett Ellifritz, a 6'5" freshman, and also Daniel Young, a 6'7" junior. So it'll be Javion Gray, Clay Martin, Brett Ellifritz, Daniel Young, and Nathan Guscott, the starters for the Baker Wildcats. For the Vikings, Brody Gronewald. Gronewald, the 6'1" senior. Brody out of Carthage, Illinois, the leading scorer, 14.6 points a game. Ramey Price, a 5'11" junior. He is out of Chicago. Ramey, the point guard, 12 points a game. Tim Washington, who led the Vikings in scoring at Graceland Saturday. He's a 6'2" junior. Kyle Hickey, let's see if he's going to start Hickey tonight. Nope, going to start Bobby Collins, a 6'3" sophomore. And also starting for the Vikings tonight will be Devontae Halfacre, the 6'7" junior. So Gronewald, Price, Washington, Collins, and Halfacre against Gray, Martin, Ellifritz, Young, and Guscott. Sit back and enjoy. The women's game goes to Baker. The men's game, well, we're going to find out as these two teams get ready to battle. And Joe, as you said to Sean Dooley, I think when these two teams get together, it's usually a pretty good ball game. At least it has been the last few years.
Well, they've got a great rivalry in football, and I think both of these teams, basketball teams, have carried it over to the hardwood. And yeah, most of these games have gone right down to the wire, but as Coach Dooley said, Vikes have had pretty good luck at making plays down the stretch to get some big wins. So let's see what happens tonight.
Vikings in their gray, the dark blue for the Wildcats, and the Wildcats control the basketball. Here's Javion Gray, and we are underway at 7:29 Central Time. Did a good start on this one. Guscott back into the corner to Gray. Vikings in a man-to-man. Washington has that defensive assignment. They're working to the right side to Guscott. Back out high to Young. Young is a junior on this squad. Back it comes to Javion Gray. 5 on the shot clock. Free throw line. Here's a fadeaway just inside the top of the key. Shot is no good for Martin. And
Ken, I like the
Halfacre.
colors on those Baker uniforms. Those look like new uniforms, blue with red trim. That's pretty. Or maybe that's orange trim. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Orange trim, and the Vikings in their gray with the orange trim. Price, baseline. Halfacre, 14-footer off the heel of the rim. No good. Bobby Collins, offensive rebound, puts it up and in, and was fouled before the shot. This foul is going to be called, I think, on Ellifritz. It is his first, and that's the first foul of the ball game.
Ken, the one official, the guy that we've had quite a bit. I think I woke him up out in the parking lot. I pulled up right beside him. My lights were on, and his head popped up. I think he was taking a nap. So he ought to be well rested for this game.
Here's Price, baseline, double teamed off to Collins. Collins, his free throw line jumper won't go. Rebound, Halfacre up with the left hand and scores. Nice strong move, Devontae Halfacre, and the Vikings take a 2-0 lead.
Need for Devontae to start establishing himself on the inside. He did a great job that time getting the offensive rebound, putting it up with the left hand.
Here's a shot from the outside that's up and no good. Rebound comes down to Gronewald as the shot was taken from deep by Daniel Young, and another foul called on the Wildcats.
That's two on Brett Ellifritz, I believe.
Ellifritz with his second foul shakes his head. He'd come out of the lineup early on, and C.J. Bolton, a 6'4" junior, checks into the lineup. Bolton out of Drexel, south of Kansas City.
Javion Gray, we've seen a lot of him over the last several years, haven't we?
Very good player, all-conference player. Here's Gronewald, baseline right side, fires a pass out high. Good catch by Washington. Tim, free throw line, 15-footer off the front of the rim. Gray with a rebound, pushes it up for the Wildcats. Looks to split a double team. Good defense by the Vikings, keeping him out of the lane. Now Gray drives left side all the way to the rack and scores. Went to the right, nothing there, back to the left and scored.
Ken, I think Tim Washington had a big offensive game for the Vikes on Saturday.
He led them in points on Saturday after really struggling at Peru. He was in foul trouble at Peru. Gronewald right down the middle. Finger rolls it up and in. Brody's first bucket. He leads the Vikings in scoring, 14.6. It's 4-2. Davion Gray, top of the key. Swings it around to Bolton. Bolton, long shot, won't go. Gronwald had his second rebound of the contest. Brody pushes it all the way to the basket. His shot is blocked by Young. Now it comes all the way out to Washington, top of the key. In the corner to Gronwald. Brody back out to Price. Swing it around to Washington on the left wing. Washington tied up, almost loses it, gets it back. Step back shot, baseline won't go. Halfacre fights for the rebound, can't pull it down.
That's okay. Devontae's going after that offensive board right now.
Javion Gray with the basketball. 4-2 Vikings. We've played about 3 minutes. Nice pass, bounce pass into the lane on the give and go, and Daniel Young has his first field goal. We're tied at 4.
Yeah, Baker, team's going to be pretty big, pretty physical on the inside.
Here's Washington around the screen, drives to the basket, loses the handle, picked up by Halfacre. His little jump hook goes. Devontae Halfacre quickly, 4 points.
Yeah.
6-4.
Every time Baker has scored, the Vikings came right back and answered.
Gray takes it to the left side and scores his second bucket. We're tied at 6. Now those good percentages, you shoot the ball from about 3 feet away, and both teams are doing that.
And Javion Gray he doesn't shoot that outside that much. He does like to go to the basket. He can go with both hands.
Here's Gronwald baseline, head and shoulder fake. Now he gets up in the air, misses the shot, and an offensive rebound. Bobby Collins took it away and scored.
Was that Bobby or Remy?
It was Remy Price.
Yeah.
Price snuck in there and scored. Good job of the little point guard. He has 4.6 rebounds a game.
And he's only, 5'8"?
Yep. Well, they risked him 5'11". That may be giving him an inch.
Yeah.
Good job by Ramey. Out of Chicago, junior college transfer. Vikings lead at 8-6. Gray out front, three-pointer on the way. Good looking shot, Clay Martin. And the Wildcats take the lead, 9-8. Price works the right side. Now to Collins, back to Washington. Gronwald, right side. He'll go to the corner. Cut off there, nowhere to go. Kick it back out. Washington, he'll try a three. A little strong, hits the guy wire, and the ball will belong to the Wildcats.
Yeah, good look that time by Tim. He squared up from the head of the key. Just ball hit the back of the rim, went straight up, and like you said, hit that guide wire. Now he comes out. Kyle Hickey comes in. Also into the Viking lineup is Romeo Smith.
Romeo checks into the contest for the first time.
You got Romeo in class, don't you?
When he shows up, which is every day, of course, right? All right, here at the top of the key is Gray. Gray into the corner to Young. Ooh, he took an extra dribble. That was Guscott, and he walked with it. Yeah, we had class today, or yesterday, I guess. What is today, Tuesday?
Romeo, is he a mass comm man? Or?
Hey, well, he's thinking about it.
Now, who is it, Rashawn Parker on the wide receiver on the football team is a mass comm man, I know.
Here's Hickey out to Romeo Smith. Now to Hickey on the left wing. Hickey starts to penetrate, gives it back. Romeo, left-handed shot, 15-footer good. He's a good offensive player, Romeo Smith. His first bucket, and it's 10-9.
4 different Vikings have scored so far. That's a good sign.
Here's a three-pointer, top of the key, no good. Price had it, knocked away, but it comes to Hickey. Hickey hustles up the left side. Now back to Gronwald. Oh, down the middle. No look pass to Smith. He lost it. And loose on the floor, and it's picked up by Javion Gray. 10-9, Vikings by 1. Gray, top of the key. Leaves it for Bolton. Down to the corner to Guscott. Back out to Gray. Martin, he's hit a three. They try to post up Young. Look at that difference. Young being guarded by Ramey Price. Guscott kicks it out to Martin. Fakes the three. 6 on the shot clock. Now he'll take a three, miss it. And the rebound is coming down to Romeo, and over the back is Young.
Daniel Young didn't like that call, but a good job by Romeo screaming him out. Again, I mentioned I like Baker's uniforms. I'm not sure I like those orange socks all that well, though.
Orange socks with the dark blue uniform, a white number, blue tennis shoes. Vikings in all gray with orange trim, orange numerals trimmed in white. Here's Gronwald right side, kicks it back out front to Darryl Lemaire, who throws it away, trying to get it to Smith, and Smith, excuse me, not that was trying to get it to him was Obaneki, Chisholm Obaneki.
Well, two teams trading punches here in the early going.
10-9, Vikings with a 1-point lead, 13:43 to go as Gray, guarded by Obaneki, gives it to Martin. Martin, free throw line extended right, one dribble back into the corner, and now they throw it away. It's picked up by Lemire, Darrell, underneath the Gronwald. He's fouled in the lane. I think they're going to call this foul on Parker.
You know, it looks like Brody Gronwald, at least so far, is penetrating to the basket quite a bit. He's made up his mind. He's going to get at the head of the key and try to take it right down to the rack if he can.
Tyrone Parker picks up his first foul. Romeo into Hickey. Now the Gronwald top of the key. Looking to get around screen by Romeo. Does. Off to Lemire. Darrell on the right wing. Back out front. Gronwald. Gronwald in to Romeo. Muscles his way in the lane. Goes up with the left hand. Can't get it. Ball being pinballed around. Lemire with a strong rebound back up. And he's fouled. Boy, that was a strong rebound by Darrell Lemire.
You know, the Viking guards are doing a good job on the offensive glass. Lemire got that rebound. Remy Price got a big rebound and a stick back a few minutes ago. So the little, I call them the little guys, the smaller guys going to the board pretty well right now.
Bolton picks up the foul, his first. That's already the 15th foul on Baker. The Vikings have yet to commit a foul.
Lemire with a two-shotter right here, I think.
Rattles it home. Darrell's first point. He'll have another one.
Darrell out of Manor, Texas. Have no idea where Manor, Texas is.
Nope. Next one is good. So Darrell hits them both. Vikings up 12-9. Now Valley putting on some full court pressure. And a steal by Hickey. And he gets it back to the top of the, out by the timeline. Now to Gronwald for three. It won't go. Long rebound to Lemire, however. And now he throws it in the backcourt. It's saved
nice
by
save.
Gronwald.
Good hustle by the Vikings that time.
Gronwald had to leave his feet as he got to the half-court line to save it, and he did. Now Hickey underneath to Romeo, and he loses the handle on it. He was thinking slam. And as he went up on the right side, couldn't control the ball off his hands out of bounds.
And on that shot, off comes Chad Lance's jacket.
Yeah. He knows we had a good shot right there.
Oh, yeah, Romeo had an easy one if he could have held on to the ball.
Javion Gray down the middle, right hand, no good. Rebound again to Lemire. He's been a rebounding fiend here.
Darrell's all over the place on the boards right now.
12-9 Vikings, 12:24 to go in the half. Gronwald right side. Tried to get around screen by Obaneki. Back it comes. Now they give it into Obaneki. Chisholm holds it back to Gronwald. Gronwald free throw line drives down the middle. He loses the handle on it as he was trying to get the ball to Romeo Smith, but thank goodness one of the Wildcats tipped it out of bounds. So Brody will inbound.
Well, Chad wanted that jacket up there. That'll have to be pressed here probably next
Good
week.
looking jacket.
It's in a ball right now.
I bet his dry cleaner loves Chad Lance during basketball season. And it comes to Romeo. 7-footer inside the lane is good. That's 4 for Romeo Smith. Yeah, his dry cleaner says, honey, we just worked through basketball season. We can take the rest of the year off.
That's right. I know you just pressed this the other day, but I need it again.
That's right. Javion Gray works it into the corner to Taylor Johnson. Back out front it goes to Parker. Now to Gray. Fires a pass to the baseline and throws it too hard for Johnson. Turnover, Viking ball.
Ken, the Vikings really playing pretty well right now as Remy Price and Bobby Collins check back in. Obaneki and Gronwald will take a seat.
Collins will give it off to Remy. And Remy Price will bring it into the forecourt.
Looks like Baker in the zone right now.
Now let's see how the Vikes handle this. Top of the key. They'll swing it around to Price. Of course, Gronwald out of the game, so they'll go to that zone. Challenge someone else. Here's a long three. No good by Lemire.
Darrell says, well, Brody shoots him out there. Why can't I?
Hit the rim. That was about it for that one. That was a long ways out there. Here's Hobson driving the baseline, and a foul is going to be called. And this foul's on Collins, his first, and that's the first foul on Valley.
Yeah, that's a nice give and go that time by the Wildcats. Hobson passed it off the wing, then cut real quickly to the basket and got a return pass and goes up strong, and he'll be there for 2 shots.
First one is good.
Hobson is a freshman. He's out of Grand Prairie, Texas. They list him at I'm sorry, is that Johnson? That's Taylor Johnson.
Yeah.
Taylor Johnson, he's a senior out of Dallas, Texas.
Second one is good, so Taylor Johnson hits them both. Gronwald coming right back in. Brody wasn't out very long. We have all the women's scores. We'll pass those to you along when we get our first break here. 11 minutes to go in the half, 14-11.
There's that zone again.
Gronwald, no look pass inside the lane to Collins. Boy, he went up high but missed the shot. And the rebound comes down to the Wildcats. They trail by 3 with 10:52 to go in the first half. Javion Gray. High post to Hobson. Now they're working down underneath. There's a shot getting too far into the basket. The shot was no good, and the Vikings come away with a rebound. Quickly, Price off to Collins. Quick move on the baseline. Fires it all the way out for Hickey. Now to Price, top of the key.
Remy might have got away with a walk there.
Gronwald.
Good move.
Finds Price.
Good ball
no
movement.
look pass. Trying to get it to the high post to Smith. He's double teamed. Ball taken away.
One too many passes that time.
Now on the baseline, driving, putting up the shot is Vandy Hobson, and he's fouled.
Yeah, I think that foul is going to come up on Romeo Smith, I believe, and that'll be his first foul.
First on Romeo. Played at Kennedy King Junior College in Chicago. Well, that free throw barely hit the front of the rim for Mr. Hobson.
Baker 2 out of 3 from the line so far. The Vikings 2 out of 2, so that's been the first free throw that's been missed tonight. Bramble missed them both, or Hobson missed them both.
And Smith with a rebound. 14-11 Valley. We're halfway home here in the first half. Hickey, top of the key. Fires at baseline to Collins. Drives in. Off the glass too hard. Ball tipped by Smith, but it comes away to Parker.
Again, I think if this Viking team is going to be successful, Kyle Hickey has to score.
Yeah, Hickey has to be more of an offensive threat than he has been the first few games. Driving the baseline. Good, strong move in the bucket. Good job there by Kevin Bramble as Bramble gets his first bucket. And that cuts it to 1. There is a timeout. Good physical game so far, though, Joe, by these two teams.
Yeah, neither team can pull away. It's a one-point game right now. And these teams, they play a similar style. Both of them are pretty physical, and both of them, they will run, but they like that half-court offense. And Coach Chad Lance saw something he needed to talk about, so we have a timeout with 9:48 to go in the first half.
Yeah, quick timeout here. This is a 30-second timeout. They keep both teams on their feet.
Have you got those ladies' scores?
I've got them, and we'll pass them along at the next break.
Okay, I'm just eager.
14-13, Vikings with the lead. You know how they tease you that coming up after the break, we'll have this news story. That's what we're doing here with our
Well, see, on my Sports of All Sorts show the other night, you did an interview on Viking football. I saved you till the very end.
There you go.
I knew that would keep our listeners listening all night long.
After the loss. That's all
no,
we'll
those
say
the
about
night
that
the
one.
night after we beat Mid-America.
Oh, after the Mid-America.
After Mid-America. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
they had both ears tuned to the radio.
Here's Hickey off to Price. Halfacre back in. Ball was tipped, but it comes away to the Vikings.
Baker's
Price.
still in that zone. They've had good luck with it.
9 on the shot clock. Here comes Price down the middle. Stops. Little teardrop in the lane. Good. Remy Price has 4. 16-13. Nice little move. Javion Gray quickly for Baker. Gives a pass back out front to Parker. Now they'll work it to the low block. Now that's Bramble muscling his way and misses the shot. Whistle sounds. They're going to call Halfacre for the foul. That's his first third-team foul on Valley. 2 shots.
Yeah, so let's go over 10 minutes without committing a foul. Really, the Vikes have been playing pretty good defense, it looks like.
9:03 to go.
This is Kelvin Bramble on the line. He's a senior out of Charleston, Nevis, wherever that is.
Free throw is no good. Mr. Bramble. Second free throw is good, so Bramble gets 1.
Not a big crowd. I guess a lot of the students have gone home already for Thanksgiving, haven't they?
They're gone. A lot of the students, probably 90% of them are gone. Here's Tim Washington, a line drive three, won't go. Rebound pulled down by Parker.
That never had a chance. I'm not sure that one ever got above the rim.
So Javion Gray the other way. Top of the key as the Wildcats are down by 2. Johnson working that right side. Skip pass right in front of Chad Lance to Parker. Parker, no look pass, baseline. Johnson missed an easy one. Rebound Gronwald. Gronwald the other way, 8:23 to go. Brody, high dribble the left hand into Hickey. Washington swings it around to Price. Remy drives baseline into the corner to Gronwald, back out to Washington. Now they try to get it to Halfacre. It's knocked away from him. It'll still belong to the Vikings, I believe, with 8:08 to go. And
Ken, I tell you, the Vikings really doing a good job moving that ball from side to side. And that time they got it into Devontae Halfacre. Baker doubled down and knocked it out of bounds. But very good ball movement by Missouri Valley.
Well, they have. Now they've reset the shot clock to put 13 on the shot clock.
Where art thou, Romeo? He's heading back into the lineup.
Romeo coming back into the game. Halfacre will leave. Price will inbound the ball into Hickey. Head and shoulder fake. Kicks it back in the
Kyle's
corner.
got to shoot that.
Here's Gronwald. He'll take a 16-footer. Rims in and out. And the rebound pulled down by Tyrone Parker. Parker off to Javion Gray. 7:55 to go. Low-scoring first half. Baker with a basketball. Swing it in the corner to Johnson. Johnson back out front for Parker. Parker against this man-to-man. Corner to Gray. Gray's going to take an outside shot and hit it.
Man,
I'm kind of surprised. He normally doesn't knock down the outside shot, but they left him open. He nailed
who said
it.
I can't shoot the three?
Wow, 17-16. Lead for Baker. Now Price in the corner to Gronwald. Back out to Washington. Washington around a Smith screen. Price into the corner to Gronwald as he runs that baseline. Price now has it. 13 on the shot clock. Back out to Washington. His three, good.
Good ball movement once again by the Vikings, and Washington a wide open look, and Timmy buried it.
20, yeah, they have 20-16. That score is wrong. It should be 19-17.
Baker was up by one, weren't they?
Yeah. Should be 19-17. 7:10 to go. That scoreboard is wrong. Here's the Gray into the corner to Johnson. They're getting it fixed. Now Johnson, a foul is going to be called on Hickey, I think, reaching in. No, they're going to call it on Washington away from the ball. His first.
That's the fourth team foul on the Vikings. Baker has 5, so still a little bit away from the 1-and-1 is coming back into the Baker lineup, Nathan Guscott.
19-17 is our score. The Wildcats shooting 43% now, the Vikings 37%. Gray will inbound. Throws it in the back court, and that is legal. So the Vikings go to work defensively. They're staying in their man-to-man. Guscott in front of the Viking bench. Back out to Johnson. He'll launch a three for the lead. Missed it. Offensive rebound. Bramble missed an easy one. Gets it back and traveled.
Yeah, good job. The Vikes dodged the bullet that time as Kelvin Bramble got 2 shots right inside, got the offensive rebound, and then shuffled his feet. So Vikes retained that 2-point lead.
Hickey to Washington. Washington drives all the way to the basket, flips it up and in, and the foul is on the floor.
On the floor, wow. Oh, he counted.
They did count it.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to call it on the floor, but they count the basket for Washington. He has 5, and the foul is on Hobson.
That was an acrobatic move that time. Tim Washington way off balance, and he cranked that one up. Nice touch off the glass, and comes down in a chance to complete the 3-point play, and he scored the last 5 Viking points.
And he got the last 6 as he knocks this one down. 22-17, Valley by 5. Here comes that full court pressure by the Vikings. And that's almost a 5-second count. Sean Dooley has to take a timeout. So we do have some scores on the women's game. 22-17 here. Vikings with the lead. Here we go. Benedictine beat Clark 81-70. Or excuse me. That was last week. There we go. William Penn over Grandview, 78-66.
William Penn's playing pretty well. The girls are.
Culver knocked off Peru, 81-61. If Benedictine beat Evangel, 68-67. CMU over Mount Mercy, 93-76. Mid-America beat Avila, 69-53. Of course, Baker won here 91-53. And how about this score? Clark over Graceland 104 to 57.
Wow. Yeah, it's kind of hard. We're trying to get a gauge on how good Clark and Mount Mercy are. Never seen either one of them. And both of them sound like, up and down the line, men and women, they are pretty respectable anyway.
We'll find out. We'll see Mount Mercy a week from Monday.
We do know this. They're a long way from here.
They're in Cedar Rapids, and Clark is in Dubuque. Not as far as Fort Wayne, but not much closer than that.
After Fort Wayne, it'll be a piece of cake.
Piece of cake. Here comes Gray, blocked by Smith, and now he hits the backboard with his outlet pass, and it's taken back by Johnson. Good play, and then he hit the backboard with his outlet pass, and the Wildcats get it back.
Well, Gray hit the backboard, the bottom of the backboard to start it.
Here's a muscling in is Bramble, Kevin Bramble. He's a big guy, and he has 5, 22-19. Rebby Price. Gronwald out front. Swinging around to Washington, back into the corner. To Price. Washington. Now Price is quick. This is going to drive underneath the basket. Turns. Price to put it up. Flips it up. Trying to get over Bramble. Not there. Rebound pulled down by Romeo Smith. Misses a shot, but is held on the arm by Johnson.
Yeah, nice job on the offensive board that time. That was an errant shot by Remy Price, and Romeo Smith got position on that weak side, ripped it down, and that's the 7th team foul on the Wildcats. So Romeo will be on the line for a 1-and-1.
Darryl Lemire in for Kyle Hickey, or is he? Price is also coming out. Vikings only have 4 players on them.
Now Hickey's still out
Hickey's
there.
Going to stay
he's still out
okay.
there.
All right. Well, let's see what Romeo Smith can do here. Left-hander hits
There
the
we go.
first free
Good
throw. The
job,
Vikings are 4 for 4 from the line.
Romeo, that's 5 points for Romeo. You must have motivated him in class yesterday morning, right?
Yeah. Here's the second one by Smith. And it is no good. It's the back of the iron. So he has 5 points. And it's 23-19, a 4-point lead. Greg Easter into the contest now. He gives it off to Bolton. Back to Johnson. Johnson into the corner to Bolton, or Guscott. He'll drive on Romeo all the way to the basket. Put it up through the double team, scores, and is fouled.
Yeah, nice that's move. A nice, strong move that time by Nathan Guscott. He's a veteran. He's a junior. He's out of Melbourne, Australia. So he's out of Melbourne, as is, I think, Tessa Ramsey on the Viking ladies.
And for the first time, Lawrence Horner, 6'10" junior, in for the Vikings.
We call him Full Acre.
He's a big
Got
dude.
Half Acre and Full Acre.
He is a big dude.
That's the second foul on Romeo.
Clay Martin will come back in for Baker. Here's a high arching free throw. Hangs on the rim, doesn't go in. The Vikings don't block out. Bolton gets an offensive rebound. He's tied up by Horner, and the possession arrow to the Vikings. Clay Martin will come back in. 5:14 to go here in the first half. 23-21.
Lawrence Horner is put together, isn't he?
He's a big man.
He is big. Not sure what size of shoe he has, but it's a big one.
See if he wants to play tackle next year, offensive guard.
Play anywhere he wants to.
Lemire trapped, and the Vikings have to use the timeout. It's a good trap by Baker. As soon as Lemire got across half court in the offensive end, they trapped him, used the sideline right in front of the scorer's table as an extra defender, and he had nowhere to go, so he called the timeout. 5:06 to go, 23-21. Valley up by 2.
Yeah, the Vikes have looked pretty good so far. Baker keeps hanging around, but the Vikes have led throughout most of the half. And looking at the scoring for Missouri Valley, it looks like the leading scorer so far is Tim Washington. Tim has 6 points, 5 points already for Romeo Smith, 4 points each for Remy Price and Devontae Halfacre, 2 points for Brody Growald, and looks like 2 free throws for Darryl Lemire.
Vikings leading by 2. I know a lot of you listening, the Baker Wildcats, congratulations. Your football team will host Lindsey Wilson in Baldwin City this Saturday in one of those quarterfinal appearances.
We certainly wish the Wildcats the best. They've had a great season, a class program. They and Valley have quite a rivalry, but it seems like a very clean rivalry to me.
Good luck to the Wildcats. Hickey's going to try a three.
There we go. There we go. Come
Kyle
on, Kyle.
Hickey. First shot I think he's taken, and he knocked it
Kyle,
down.
I say it again, Kyle has got to score if this team's going to be successful.
26-21. Top of the key. Driving to the basket is Daniel Young, and he's fouled on the way in.
I think the big guy got him, maybe.
Horner
Lauren,
picked up the foul.
half acre or full acre. Lawrence Horner got the foul.
So the ball belongs to the Wildcats. Bolton into the corner. Three-pointer, good. And that is Mr. Easter coming off the bench.
I think he played on this team last year.
6-foot junior.
They got a lot of people, a lot of familiar names from last year on this Baker team.
Very veteran team. Washington top of the key. Swings it back to the left side. Now back it comes to the right. It's a good ball movement. Lemire will take it from just inside the top of the key, bank it, and it was a two.
The bank is open.
So Lemire has four, and it's 28-24. We're down to the 4-minute mark. Skip pass into the corner. Guscott, he's open for a three. Missed it. Lemire with yet another rebound. And here come the Vikings. Darrell bring it all the way in the forecourt to Washington to Hickey. Gronewald back to Washington, fakes the three. Now inside to Lemire. Darrell goes to the basket with the right hand and lays it in. Nice move, and Lemire having quite a half. He has 6.
Yeah, Darrell's kind of put this team on his shoulders offensively. Has a nice move right through the middle of that Baker zone.
6 points for Darrell Lemire to go along with 3 rebounds. Easter, top of the circle. Gives it off to Martin. Vikings really ratcheting up the defensive pressure. Bolton to Guscott. 6 on the shot clock. Martin launches a three, hit it right in front of the Viking bench. His second triple of the game, 30-27, 3 minutes to go in the half.
Ken, Clay Martin has a nice looking jump shot.
Yes, he does. They're now 4 out of 10 from beyond the arc. Washington to Hickey. High arching shot from the baseline, no good. And it comes right back his way, and stepping in front of him was Easter. Off to Martin, another three. Tie game. You're right, a good-looking shot. Same spot. He's hit 2 in a row, 30 all.
Yep.
Gronewald with just 2 points in this first half. Brody top of the key, off to Washington. 2:37 to go. Lemire looks for Hickey, not there. Washington long three. This one up the front of the rim, bounces again, and it's going to be pulled down by Young. He is a big physical player. Off to Martin. Now to Easter. Back to Martin. Easter top of the key. Puts it on the floor. Fakes the three. Martin in the corner. 3 in a row. You got it.
Wow.
Clay Martin, 3 triples in a row. It's 33-30. The Vikings trail by 3.
3 triples in about the last 45 seconds.
All from the left side. Now Tim Washington will drive down the middle all the way. His teardrop, rims in and out, tipped up and in.
That's
Horner.
Horner. That's Horner, I think, yeah.
Horner got the tip in, 33-32. Baker by 1, 1:50 to go.
Horner says, I get in that lane, you better get out of my way.
Good touch with the big guy. Here's Easter, free throw line, 15-footer. Good, both teams are heating it up now. Easter has 5 points. 35-32, Wildcats, 1:37 to go. Gronewald to the top of the key.
Been a pretty good first half. Both teams have really played pretty well.
Lemire with the right-handed dribble, 1:26 to go. Round to Gronewald, free throw line. Looks inside, not there. Now nice pass to Lemire. His teardrop in the lane won't go, but he tips his own miss in. Lemire missed it the first time. He tipped it in, 35-34. He's had quite a half.
Darrell, 8 points so far. He's all over the floor. He's had quite a few offensive rebounds.
Here comes Easter through traffic into the corner. Martin didn't take this three-pointer. In fact, he steps in, takes about a 12-footer, missed it. Rebound Bolton. Gives it to Martin, back to Bolton. 55 seconds to go. Here's Guscott. Works in on Horner, scores and is fouled. Guscott took it right at the big guy, scored and got bumped. So Horner picks up his second foul. It's 37-34 Wildcats. 52 seconds to go in the half.
Ken, there's no doubt this Baker team likes to shoot the tray. They've knocked down 6 here in the first half.
6 out of 12. Vikings 2 out of 8. Baker now 50% from the field, 13 out of 26. And Guscott hits the three-point play. 38-34. This may be the largest lead the Wildcats have had.
I think it is. I think they led by 2. That's been the biggest lead they've had up till now.
So we're in the final minute of the first half.
Baker's still in that zone.
It has worked for him. Lemire to Price. Works the right side. 21 on that shot clock. Lemire underneath. Horner will jump hook. Won't go. And the rebound is pulled down. Or Halfacre, excuse me.
Halfacre back. He's back in, yeah.
Horner out, Halfacre in, and he missed the jump hook.
Took the full acre out, put the Halfacre in.
So here is Easter at the top of the key.
Walk, Guscott got away with the travel.
Takes a shot, won't go. Rebound comes away to Gronwald. He'll hustle. Nice break to Hickey, racing in from the left side, lays it in. A good pass. Nice job by Hickey. He has 5, and it's 38-36.
Great pass by Brody Gronwald. Hit Hickey on the dead run that time.
Here's Martin with 3 to go and a half. Misses the shot. The tip is up and in, however, by Vandy Hobson.
Wow.
So it's 40-36. Both teams starting to light it up here at the end of the first half, and that's a big bucket. That tip in by Hobson. 40-36. We'll be back, and we'll go over the scoring, some statistics. We'll talk about the women's game a little bit more, and we're going to talk about all conference football. It's all coming up at the half.
Last night we put on an epic light show.
Yeah, we did.
The crowd loved us. We love the crowd.
Wait, but there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? All 8 of their eyes lit up brighter than ours. And we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, that one girl, she looked like she'd never seen glow in the dark like this before, and we invented glow in the dark.
Yeah, we invented it.
And we're going to be out here every night rocking out our light show at a forest near you.
Woohoo!
So come check us out.
Check us out.
And bring your kid, all ages show. Oh, but don't bring any of those glass jars, because they make us kind of nervous.
Yeah, and I'm super claustrophobic.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you and discover other cool things to do when you go, like fishing, biking, or even camping. Visit discovertheforest.org.
See you later!
Yeah, see you soon.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. So today's your 18th birthday. Hey, Bobby, pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah. I've got my whole life ahead of me. School, then a job. I've been waiting for this day forever.
And when will you be registering with Selective Service?
What? Oh, yeah. I don't know. I'll get around to it someday.
Someday?
Yeah, you know, like, whenever I get around to it, like, I don't know.
Well, Bobby, if you don't register with Selective Service within 30 days of your 18th birthday, you can lose out on college loans, job training, and government jobs. And then you'll be, you know, like out of luck.
Bobby, where are you going?
I'm just gonna get online for a minute, then I'll be right back.
To register with Selective Service, log on to www.sss.gov or stop by your local post office.
There. Are you happy now?
Very.
(40-36). Baker with the lead as we are at the break. The women's game won comfortably by the Wildcats. The other games tonight in the men's division: Mount Mercy at CMU, Peru at Culver, Benedictine at Evangel, Grandview at William Penn, Mid-America at Avila. Baker's here, of course, and Graceland at Clark. Benedictine and Grandview both 3-0 in conference play. Benedictine 5-0 overall. Central Methodist, William Penn, and Valley, and Peru all 2-1. Mid-America 1-1. Baker 1-2. Graceland, Clark, Mount Mercy, Evangel all 1-2, and then Culver and Avila looking for the first conference win. How about some score in there, Joe, in that first half?
Well, for the Vikings, Ken, nobody in double figures. Great half for Daryl Lemire. Daryl had 8 points, and he had 3 offensive rebounds, 5 rebounds in the game, 3 of those on the offensive end. So a great half for Daryl Lemire. 6 points for Tim Washington. Tim knocked down 1 triple. Looks like 5 each for Kyle Hickey, including a triple. Also Romeo Smith. Romeo picked up 2 fouls. Looks like 4 points each for Remy Price and Devontae Halfacre. 2 points. 2 points each for Brody Grodwald and Lawrence Horner. So need to get Brody more involved in the offense here in the second half. For the Baker Cats, the story was Clay Martin. His 3 big 3-point shots down the stretch in the end of the half. That's the difference in the game. Martin with 12 points. He's the only player on either team in double figures. 7 points for Javion Gray. He was quiet later on. Then 5 each for Greg Easter, Nathan Guscott, and Kelvin Bramble. looks like 2 points. 2 points each for Taylor Johnson, Daniel Young, and Vandy Hobson. He hit that shot right at the end of the half, and I think that's it for Baker.
All right, as far as a couple numbers for you, the Wildcats 48%, 15 out of 31. The Vikings 43%, 15 out of 35. From 3, 6 out of 13 with the Wildcats. The Vikings just 2 out of 8. Free throws 4 out of 8 for Baker, so did not help themselves the line. The Vikings shot 80%, 4 out of 5. Vikings out-rebounded Baker 21-16. Both teams had 2 turnovers, so really pretty evenly played first half. But as you said, I think the Martin three-point shooting, the difference there is 40-36.
Yeah, Clay Martin, 4 out of 6 in the first half from the three-point land. So he's a guy you got to get a hand up. He's got a nice-looking shot, and he was burying those shots. And boy, hit 3, boom, boom, boom to open up that halftime lead for Baker.
All right, when we come back, we're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to talk a little football as the Heart of America All-Conference football team was released. We'll tell you about it in just a moment.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football player, game show host, father of 5, and all-around big dude. I'm also an expert on drama. I know all kinds of drama. There's the good kind that comes with having a house full of kids. There's the bad kind, like season-ending injuries. There's the necessary kind, like having an agent in Hollywood. And there's silly drama, like the drama around my percolating pectorals. And then there's the drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your high school diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org.
Or text diploma to 97779. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. That's diploma to 97779. And leave the drama to actors like me.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
Well, let's take a look at some football notes. First of all, here are the pairings for the NAIA quarterfinals this Saturday. Eastern Oregon will be at Marion. They're the number 1 seed. Lindsey Wilson will be at number 2 Baker. Montana Tech goes to Reinhardt, Georgia, and Morningside at St. Francis, as all the home teams won, and the top 4 seeds still have home field. So
I think a couple of interesting matchups. Lindsey Wilson, that's a team that beat Grandview in overtime. They'll be on the road, take on the Baker Wildcats in Baldwin City. Then I look for that Morningside St. Francis game. Those are the last 2 teams to beat the Vikings in playoff appearances, and I think that could be a whale of a game out in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we know that city well, don't we?
Morningside at St. Francis. Should be rather interesting. All right, the all-conference team was announced, and here's some. I'm not going to go over everything, obviously, but here are some of the all-conference winners. Grandview quarterback Jordan Knock was chosen the Hart North Division Offensive Player of the Year, and his teammate Robert Lewis selected the Defensive Player for the North. In the South, Baker quarterback Logan Brattel was picked as the Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive player shared by Baker defensive lineman Josh Koch and Missouri Valley linebacker Stephen Thayer. So congratulations to those two. Thayer, I think, ended the season with 10 sacks and well over 100 tackles, so well-deserved for him.
Yeah, I think so. Stephen, one of those guys, played with very high energy. He was all over the place, and I tell you what, he was crying his eyes out after that game on Saturday, his last game as a college player, and boy, he's one of those guys that brought it every week.
Baker coaching staff swept both staff awards. Head coach Mike Grossner named the Hart South Coach of the Year, while offensive coordinator Miguel Regaldo was picked as the Assistant Coach of the Year. And in the North, regular season co-champ William Penn, head coach Todd Hafner was picked as the Coach of the Year. The Assistant Coach of the Year, Grandview offensive coordinator Austin Flynn, and Peru State defensive coordinator Derek Durr. So those are some of the awards. Now let's get to the Vikings here. The Vikings put 18 of its student athletes on the All-Southern Division team. 7 athletes were first-team selections, led by senior linebacker Stephen Thayer, and mentioned the Division Defensive Player of the Year. Thayer earned his first-team selection individual honor after setting the program's single-season tackle record with 111 tackles. He also had 11 sacks, was fourth in the division in fumbles forced. The other 6 first-team all-division selections: junior defensive lineman Justin Aguilar, junior defensive lineman Kyraton Kilgore, defensive back Jawan Cassidy, defensive back Justin Gallegos, Dorian Stennard, wide receiver, and offensive lineman Troy Jones. So congratulations to all of them. 9 student athletes were named to the all-division second team. Those selections included freshman quarterback Jake Bridges, running back Kenny Sanford, offensive lineman Jay Atherton, all freshmen. Freshman defensive lineman Miles Campbell, linebacker Ricky Williams, linebacker Jake King, defensive back Jonathan Battle, Nate Desimone, and punt returner Justin Heiser. Joe, the best thing about that, there are only 2 seniors in all those names I just mentioned. Ricky Williams is one of those, and he may be the only senior of that group I just mentioned. So that's good news for the Vikings for next year.
That's very encouraging, and I was glad to see the 2 outstanding freshmen, Jake Bridges and Kenny Sanford. Glad to see those 2 guys recognized. I think they definitely deserve some type of all-conference recognition. Is it all the Vikings? You know, you lose it in the shuffle after that last game because that was a very disappointing loss. But I tell you, the Vikings had a great year. They had a great year. They played well. You know, 4 points away from being undefeated in regular season play.
Jake Bridges finished second in the division in total offense with 3,135 yards. Third in total passing at 27-77, and second in pass efficiency. Sanford ended the season second in the division, 99 yards per game, 1,099 yards rushing. Now, let's go to the South Division, as, of course, some more names here, but this is just the South. Those are all division names I mentioned. Here are the South Division football teams. Wide receiver, first team, Dorian Stennard, and Troy Jones, offensive lineman. For the first team defense, defensive lineman Justin Aguilar and Kyraton Kilgore, linebackers Stephen Thayer, and again, Jawan Cassidy and Justin Gallegos. Second team offense in the South, Jay Atherton, Kenny Sanford, Jake Bridges. Second team defense, I mentioned all those guys again, Miles Campbell, Ricky Williams, Jake King, Jonathan Battle. Just a good team. An honorable mention, Cody Hendricks. Honorable mention, Jacoby Ballard. So, well, you can't argue with any of those.
No, you really
can't.
You know, we talked about Stephen Thayer. He will be missed. How about Ricky Williams? I mean, down through the years, Ricky made some big plays for the Vikings. I remember that one. I think it was Benedictine, wasn't it, where he picked off that little flare pass and took it to the house. And at a time the Vikings really needed it. That was on the road. That was a big win. But he just gave us a lot of exciting moments, and those guys will be missed. But like you said, a lot of good young players coming back, need to work hard in the offseason, and this could be a very exciting team coming back next year.
So good luck to the 8 teams that remain, and they'll be playing on Saturday. Always fun to do that. A couple of other sports as far as the conference is concerned. Men's soccer, these teams going to Delray Beach, Florida next week. Mid-America Nazarene and Grandview. Mid-America Nazarene will take on West Virginia Tech, and Grandview will take on Kaiser, Florida. Both those games will be Monday, Delray Beach, Florida. Women's soccer at Orange Beach, Alabama on Monday. Benedictine will take on Mobile, Alabama, and Baker will play William Carey, Mississippi. And in volleyball, they're playing at the Tyson Center in Sioux City. Mid-America Nazarene, Grandview, College of the Ozarks, and Columbia College will all be taking part in that round-robin event in Sioux City. So that kind of wraps up a lot that's happening in the conference. We'll take a break. When we come back, Joe will call the second half. We've got a good one, 40-36 Baker.
When you were a little kid and you thought about what you wanted to be, teaching was at the top of your list. But things changed. And as you got older, teaching didn't seem like the best option anymore. So you're thinking you'll be something else. Well, what would your 12-year-old self say? Now you want to be a doctor. You don't think teachers save lives? 25 at a time. An actress? Try playing a different role every time the bell rings. How about a scientist? Ever heard of physics? Chemistry? Who do you think teaches that? Teachers today are breaking down obstacles, finding innovative ways to instill old lessons, and taking learning far beyond the four walls of the classroom. It's time to recognize that great things are happening in teaching and put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Attention men under the age of 35. You know what really impresses the ladies? When a guy has a few drinks and later gets pulled over for buzz driving. That could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. There goes let's grab dinner and a movie. Oh, I know. You drive more carefully when you're buzzed. You've proven that hundreds of times. A woman admires that kind of confidence. And you've practiced how to speak if a cop does pull you over. Slowly, clearly, and politely like, "Good evening, officer." A woman admires that kind of foresight. And what woman doesn't find it adorable that you call it buzzed even though the law calls it drunk? You could kiss $10,000 goodbye, along with any chance of having a girlfriend. Because nothing says, "I'm a catch," more than a guy who lives in his parents' basement and calls it my place.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Well, we're just about set for the second half. Both teams are back out on the floor. The Wildcats have a 4-point lead. And Joe, I'll bet you that big upset over, no, it was an upset over William Penn. Probably weren't a whole lot. Well, there might have been quite a few fans in the gym for that because the football game would have been over by that time. But
yeah, one of their coaches told me that the football game started at noon, I believe, and the basketball game did not start till around 4 o'clock. He said as that game wore on, more and more people started coming into the gym, and so they were pumped up and really helped them. But, you know, we might also mention, Ken, a couple of other area teams in NCAA Division II. Emporia State got a win on Saturday. They'll play Northwest Missouri State for the second time this year. Those two teams finished 1-2 in the MIAA. Northwest, of course, the defending national champion. They won that opening. They played the first week of the season. That was the only loss for Emporia State all year. They'll play again on Saturday. And the Central Missouri Mules, they fell to Harding College on Saturday. But Central Missouri, their season kind of mirrored the Vikings. They wound up 9-3, as did Missouri Valley. So congratulations to the Mules also.
All right, here we go. Second half, 4-point lead for Baker.
All right, Vikings led a good part of that first half. But as we said, Clay Martin drained 3 big triples in the closing minutes of the first half, and Baker gets the ball to start the second half with a 4-point lead. Javion Gray in the corner to Gus Scott. Now passes it outside, and that ball goes off Martin's leg, so I guess he is human, Ken.
Yeah, he was thinking catch and shoot, the way as hot as he is, but that one went off his leg right in front of the Baker bench.
And Brett Ellifrit's back in the lineup. He played about 2 minutes, picked up 2 quick fouls, and had to sit out the rest of the first half. So Vikes down by 4 with the ball. Grotewald goes through the double team, gives back to Collins. Good ball movement, right wing, Tim Washington. Timmy pulls up just outside the free throw line, puts up a jumper and got it. So Tim Washington now with 8 points, sweet looking shot right there, pulls the Vikings to within 2.
Yeah, you can tell he has a lot of offensive weapons, and he showed it there. Nice shot.
Vikes back into man-to-man. They play a little bit of zone in the first half. There's a deep 3 by Martin. Man, you got to get on him. That's his 5th triple. Clay Martin with 15 points in the game, and he just drained another one to put the Cats up by 5. Vikes need a bucket. Now looks like Baker's still, they're still in that zone, I believe. It's Bobby Collins. Bobby got a good look down on the baseline, thought he was fouled, but no call. Daniel Young the rebound. Gray, all-conference returner, averaging almost 13 points a game. Javion goes baseline, stop-and-go dribble around Halfacre. Now gives it back to Martin, another triple, knocks down another one, and man, Clay Martin, I know he's hit 5 of his last 6 threes as he knocks that one down. Give him 18 points in the game. It's an 8-point game now. Not anymore, as there's a 3 by Tim Washington, so Timmy buries a 3, and Tim Washington keeping the Vikes in it on the offensive end right now. He's got 11. That 3 makes it a 5-point game. Javion Gray guarded by Remy Price. Now Ellifritz tried to dribble with the left hand. Ellifritz is going to be fouled, and that foul is going to come up on Bobby Collins. That'll be Bobby's 2nd foul, first foul of the half against either team. So Baker will inbound under their own bucket as the Wildcats lead by 5. Kyle Hickey into the Missouri Valley lineup. Bobby Collins will take a seat.
Clay, by the way, is 6 out of 8 from beyond the arc, 18 points.
He's got a nice-looking shot. Oh, backdoor cut by Gus Scott. Missed the shot. Now Gus Scott battles for the rebound, got his offensive rebound. I think he's fouled. Boy, Gus Scott cut back door, was wide open that time, but he missed the shot, got the rebound, and a foul on Remy Price. Baker will inbound again. 46-41, the Cats lead it.
Half Victor will check out. Romeo Smith back in.
Javion Gray throws it away. Ball taken away. Here comes Remy, the left-hander. Goes inside, puts it up, and he's fouled by Guscott. So, boy, Remy Price, how long did it take him to get down the floor? Only about a couple seconds, I think.
And you like what he did. He went right at Guscott. There's no way Guscott could get his feet set to draw the charge. Remy knew that, so he just kept going at him, and there was a collision, but it has to be a
all Guscott could do is fall backward into the mat, and that's exactly what he did. So Price will have a couple shots here to hopefully pull the Vikes to within 3. First one misses. So Remy Price again, and Remy, pretty good player. Second shot in the air, got the second one, so Price knocks down 1 out of 2. Remy's a junior out of Chicago, Illinois, so he makes it a 4-point game.
Went to Morton Community College before coming here.
Here comes the Cats. Gray outside, guarded by Remy. That should be a good matchup right there. Ella Fritz hands it back to Guscott. Guscott picked up by Kyle Hickey. Guscott spins into the lane. Nice pass down low to Ella Fritz, up and in. Good pass that time by Guscott, Nathan Guscott, as he finds Brett Ellifritz wide open. That's Ellifritz's first basket. Washington, head of the key to Hickey. Hands back to Timmy. Washington beyond the arc, gives it over to Remy Price. Price in the corner to Grodewall. Baker still in that zone. Romeo, left-handed, flipping the lane, got it. Nice little jump hook that time by Romeo Smith. Again, Romeo, good game, he's got 7.
I think he had 12 or 13 the first game of the season, led him in scoring. That was his best. So let's see if he can improve on that tonight.
Baker inside to Young, wide open underneath. Ellifritz, had it knocked away by Romeo, but gets it back, missed it. Romeo gets a rebound. Nice defense by Romeo Smith that time.
Smith, those long arms with that block.
Washington inside, flips it up to the left hand. Nice change of direction that time as Tim Washington switched the ball from the right to the left, laid it in. We got a 2-point game with 16.5 minutes left to play.
Washington now with 13 points in this one.
Need a stop here, guys. Javion Gray drives in. Ain't going to whistle Remy Price. And boy, Ken, those two guys are going at it. Probably the two quickest guys on the floor, Remy Price and Javion Gray. And that time, Remy draws his second foul.
16:27 to go.
Javion to inbound for the Cats. Into the corner, get on that man. That's Martin outside. Guscott holds it high above his head into Young. Little runner in the lane, good. So good pass. Guscott inside to Young. Young's got 4. The Baker lead back up to 4.
Well, that is a tough matchup. You get inside, Young is a big guy.
Now Kyle Hickey backs out beyond the arc. Hickey guarded by Ellifritz. Stop and go dribble. Kyle into the paint, throws it up inside, and nice job. I think Kyle Hickey knew he wasn't going to hit that shot, but he drew contact, and that's going to put him on the line for 2 shots as that foul comes up against Clay Martin. So Kyle, this will be his first trip to the line. He has 5 points. He'll try to make it a 2-point game. Hickey missed it. Vikes 1 out of 3 here in the second half. Let's see, in the first half, they were 4 out of 5 from the stripe. Kyle will have one more. Kyle's second one, got it. So Hickey gets 1 out of 2. It's a 3-point game with just under 16 minutes left to play. Gray gets it across. Boy, he and Remy Price really going at it. Now they're going to call, I think, another foul on Remy. So Remy's picked up his 3rd foul here in this half. And, Kid, I don't know if you can keep him on Gray or not. Gray's kind of taking him to the rack right now. Now Remy will step out. Darryl Lemaire, who was the scoring star for the Vikings. Lemaire with 8 points, 5 rebounds in the first half, checks into the lineup. Guscott had it knocked out of bounds off one of the Vikings. 50-47, Baker leads. The Vikes led for most of the first half, but 3 trays by Clay Martin near the end of the half gave the Wildcats a 40-36 intermission lead. Ellifritz, head of the key to Young. Left wing, Gray. Gray now picked up by Romeo. Look at the Vikes in the zone. I think they're back in the zone. A wide open Ellifritz underneath. Laid it in. Somebody forgot about Brett Ellifritz, and he 4 points this half.
Well, that's just a quick touch pass, and again, passing the ball, beat the defense, and had an easy one.
Now Brody loses it out of bounds. They say it was off of Guscott. Coach Sean Dooley thought that Grodewald kicked it, but he's showing pretty good form on that kick down there. Grodewald, head of the key to Romeo. Right wing, now knocked away from Darryl Lemire, knocked away by Javion Gray out of bounds. So Vikes will retain possession. 13 on the shot clock, 15-11 left to play in regulation.
Javion was close to a steal there.
Yep. Javion, like a lot of the Baker Cats, supporting those bright orange socks. Now the Vikes throw it into the backcourt to Brody. Brody goes to the right wing. Now head of the key. Deep three by Hickey. This one missed it.
Washington with the rebound.
Offensive rebound. Nice job by Timmy Washington that time. And he's fouled on the rebound. That foul's going to come up on Guscott. That'll be his second as Chisholm Obanecki checks in. Romeo Smith takes a seat. Vikes need a basket here. They trail by 5. Now the ball taken away by Martin. Drives to the rack, puts it up and in. Clay Martin stepped into the passing lane, and boy, he's on fire. I've got him at 20 points.
Yeah, he's had quite a game. Comes into this game averaging what, 9 points a game?
9 points, yep. Grodewald, wrap around into Chisholm. Obanecki, little jump hook in the lane. That looked good. Chisholm Obanecki, that's his first basket. Little jump hook in the lane, and he's from Rolette, Texas, a junior out of Rolette, Texas, gets his first bucket of the game to make it a 5-point lead. Now the Vikes get a steal. Taken away by Lemire. Darryl to the rack. Got it. He's fouled on the shot. Basket and won by Darryl Lemire.
I thought for a minute he was going to try to dunk it, and he saw that big guy coming in from the right, so he said, I'm just going to lay this in. He took quite a collision, but he earned that bucket, and he's going to the line.
And here's the good thing about it. If he'd have gone up with the right hand, that would have been swatted. He went up with the left hand, and all the defender, who was Daniel Young, could do would be to get his body, and that's exactly what happened. So that's going to put Darryl on the line. He could make it a 2-point game if he could knock down this free throw, but right now we got a timeout on the court.
Well, as we take this timeout, Baker shooting 52%, 21 out of 40. The Vikings 49% now, 21 out of 43. From the three-point line, Valley 6 out of 9 tonight, 67%. And the Wildcats, check that. Vikings 3 out of 10, 6 out of 9 from the free throw line. Wildcats 8 out of 15, and that's all Clay Martin. Clay Martin has 6 3-point field goals. He is 6 out of 8 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he's 20 points in the game, and he, like we talked, the first shot he took, I think you made the comment, he's got a nice shot, and he does. He's got very good form, and obviously doesn't shoot this well every night, averaging 9 points a game, but he's been on fire tonight.
Vikings out-rebounding Baker 23-19 right now.
Clay Martin's only a sophomore. He's from Sydney, Australia.
Good player.
All right, Darryl Lemire will try to complete the three-point play, and if he does, he can pull the Vikes to within 2. 14-19 left in regulation. Shot by DL is good. So Darryl having his, I would say, his best game of the year. He's got 11 right now. 3 for 3 from the line. 54-52 Baker, but the Vikes hanging around here. Gray head of the key. Into the lineup for Baker is C.J. Bolton. There's Guscott. Back to Martin. Get on him. Down on the baseline. Drive by Hobson. Puts it up with the left hand. Basket and one. So good take that time by Vandy Hobson as he took it in with the left hand. Got it to fall. And he's fouled on the shot. So that's going to put Hobson on the line for one shot. That foul, I think, on Darryl Lemire, and a chance for Hobson to complete the three-point play.
They have some big bodies in there, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and they're very physical. And Hobson knocks down the free throw, so he does complete the three-point play. It's back to a 5-point game. Just under 14 left. Washington sets the offense from the head of the key. Baker still in that think they're at zone. There's a jump shot by Washington. This one hit the front of the rim and bounced off, and Lemire takes it away from Javion Gray. Nice pass, Gronwald to Hickey. Great steal that time. Was that Lemire, I think, that got that steal?
Yeah.
Passed it out to Brody Gronwald, and Brody found a wide open Kyle Hickey under the bucket, and Kyle lays it in. That's 8 points for Kyle. We've got a 3-point game, 13:35 left, timeout.
Gronwald, I think, was going to take a three, and he saw Hickey wide open, got him the ball, and Kyle just laid it in, used the glass, didn't try to slam it, just laid it in, made sure he got the two. So good job by him. Bench scoring in this game, the Vikings have won that battle 28-17. And really, it kind of surprised me. Points in the paint, Vikings 28 and Baker 26. Seems like they're just pounding the ball inside.
Yeah,
the Vikings have 2 more points inside the paint.
Tim Washington leading the Vikings in scoring. He's got 13 points, and I've got Daryl Lemire with 11. Those are the 2 Vikings, at least at this point, in double figures.
Brody Gronwald, the Viking leading scorer, just 2 points right now, but he could, that could change in a hurry if he goes on a little flurry.
Brody can hit threes even quicker than Clay Martin did if he gets on. All right, it'll be Baker ball, 13:35 left to play. Baker led it at halftime, 40-36. We haven't settled much here in the second half. Still a 3-point Wildcat lead.
Vikings have tried to put that pressure on a little bit this half. They're not this time. They've backed up into their half-court defense.
Kyle Hickey, Daryl Lemire, Chisholm Obanecki, Tim Washington, Brody Gronwald, the 5 on the floor for Valley. Javion Gray goes baseline, gets double-teamed down there, knocked out of bounds by Lemire. For Baker, it's Hobson. It's Javion Gray's out there. Gus Scott is out there. C.J. Bolton and Clay Martin. They get it outside now to Bolton. Bolton into the corner to Javion. Down low, Hobson. Oh, nice pass underneath. Ooh, wow. Head and shoulder fake. As that time, Nathan Guscott. That could have been a lot worse than it was. Gus got a head and shoulder fake, and he got Daryl Lemire up in the rafters.
Oh, Daryl went over the top of him and landed on his shoulder and neck, and he's all right.
But he didn't come down that hard. I think Guscott kind of patted him a little bit. Deep three by Bolton off the left side. Good. So C.J. Bolton gets loose on the left wing. That's his first basket and biggest lead of the game, I think, is that's a 6-point lead for Baker. I don't think they've led by more than 6, have they?
I mean, the women hit the 3 against the Vikings, and the men doing the same thing in this one.
Vikes need a bucket. Washington in the corner to Lemire. Daryl back, Hickey head of the key. Over to Gronwald. Need to get Brody hot out here. Brody behind the back dribble. Now try to get it back to Hickey. Swatted out of bounds by one of the Wildcats. Just under 13 minutes left. Vikes can with the win could move their conference record to 3-1. They currently stand at 2-1. The Wildcats 1-2 in conference play. So
Remy Price will come in for Gronwald. Brody really having a tough time, and give a lot of credit to Nathan Guscott. He's guarded him one-on-one and just not letting him get a look at all.
I think teams in the conference know exactly who Brody Gronwald is. He's going to draw a lot of double coverage, a lot of tough defense. Kyle Hickey baseline, tried to get it inside, now kicked out of bounds. I think that went off of C.J. Bolton.
Very fortunate. They had 3 guys there, and as they tried to dribble out and start a break, it dribbled off somebody's foot.
All right, Vikes to inbound under their own bucket, down still by 6. As Gronwald will come right back in, Tim Washington will take a seat. (60-54). Vikes get it in outside Gronwald. Only 3 on the shot clock. Deep 3 by Hickey. Kyle hits the deck. And no call, and they say that's off the Vikings. Kyle Hickey went down right in front of us, but they said no contact as the Vikes were winding that shot clock down and had to take a shot. No, Vikes need to stop right now. The lead is 6 for Baker. Still a 2-possession game, but you don't want to let it get any more than this. Gray guarded by Remy Price. What a matchup that is. In the corner, deep 3 by Martin. He missed one. All right. And this one tapped out of bounds off of Guscott last. So I guess Clay Martin is human, isn't he?
I think Guscott thought Martin was going to stay in the corner, and he tried to tap it right back to him. He wasn't there anymore, and it went out of bounds.
Not a bad idea.
Nope.
All right, Vikes get it back, trailing by 6. Need one here. Left wing over to Lemire. Lemire, Gronwald, head of the key. Now Brody comes around a screen. That's going to be a foul. And that foul is going to come up on Baker, and that will be on Nathan Guscott. That'll be his third. And Guscott's been the guy on Brody Gronwald a good bit of the night, so he will go to the bench. And coming back into the lineup, I believe that's Tyrone Parker. So Parker into the Baker lineup. Grodewald outside to Obanecki. Chisholm drives in, throws it up, throws up a right-hander off the rim, and a nice strong rebound that time by Vandy Hobson. Under 12 minutes. 2-possession game. Now, nice steal. Hickey gets his hand on it, now gets a steal. Here comes Kyle to Obanecki. Back to Price. Remy down the middle, flips it up, and he's fouled, and Remy hits the deck hard there. Boy, Remy Price got up in the air, and he was whacked to the ground. Unintentional, but that foul's going to come up on Hobson. Hope Remy's okay.
Hobson 6'6". He's a big, wide body, and that was quite a collision. Remy's going to be all right. He'll go to the line.
Remy Price in the game with 5 points. He's 1 out of 2 from the line.
Boy, he took a shot on
the arm. Yeah, he did. Looks like he hit his elbow, maybe. Elbow on the floor. So let's hope he's okay. He's a mainstay on this Viking team. Remy, as we said earlier, a junior from Chicago. So he will have 2 shots here with 11:42 left to play in regulation. Remy spins the ball, bends at the knees, puts it up. This one pinballs out. So Price will have one more. Now Bobby Collins comes back in. Looks like Chisholm Obanecki will come out. So I tell you, Ken, not much height on the floor for the Vikings at all right now. You've got Lemaire, you've got Collins, you've got Price, you've got Hickey, and you've got Gronwald. Second shot by Remy is good. I'd look for a press right here, and there it is.
Yeah, they're going to.
Vikings pick them up, full court.
And smart by the Wildcats, get the ball to Javion Gray.
Yeah, looks like a man-to-man press. There's Price on Gray again. Gray around the screen. Hands it over to Bolton. Bolton gives it back to Parker. Parker almost double dribbled. Gray inside the paint. Bolton almost loses it. Down to 11 on the shot clock. Good D by the Vikings. Down to 6. Parker flips it off the hand. Gronwald saves it, but saves it right to Parker. Parker runs over to what they call there. They call it a block. Wow. As Tyrone Parker that time runs right over. Is that Remy Price or is that Bobby? That's Remy Price, I think. Remy Price picks up his 4th foul as he got right in the path of Tyrone Parker, but they say Remy wasn't set, and that's going to put Parker on the line for 2 shots.
Well, the Vikings did a great job defensively and then tipped it away in the corner. They tried to save it when Collins did. He threw it right to Parker. Chad Lance's problem with the call is that the outside official made the call.
That was close. That could have been an offensive foul, but it's a 4th foul on Remy. Now Tim Washington comes back in. RP will take a seat.
He's been in some foul trouble all night then.
That puts Tyrone Parker on the line for 2 shots. He's a senior out of Alton, Illinois. A lot of seniors on this Baker team. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not just 4. I thought there were more than that. A lot of veterans, I know that.
Bramble comes back in.
Parker will have 2 shots here. First shot in the air. Oh, they call that a 1-and-1.
No, they made the basket.
Oh, count the basket. Okay, so that's a basket for Parker. Vikings with the ball, gets that Baker zone. Hickey out to Gronwald. Kyle inside Collins. Jump shot good. So Bobby Collins with that short lineup in on the post, takes it right down the middle, flips it up and in, so it makes it a 5-point game.
Now they have to reset the shot
now
clock.
The shot clock, yep. So timeout on the floor with 10:44 left to play.
Obanecki going to check in. Hickey's going to get a break.
So a little bit more size in for the Vikings right now. They basically had 4 guards out on the floor, really doing a good job. Baker gets it in. Vikes still in that man-to-man. Baker played his zone most of the night. Vikes are in the man, at least for now. Bolton on the left wing. Gets it on the right side to Gray. Now back head of the key to Parker. Jumper off the left wing by Bolton. They're going to call a foul, I think, underneath.
Bramble.
We're going to call that on Bramble. Say Bramble pushed off underneath, so Kelvin Bramble picks up his first foul with 10.5 minutes to go. 62-57. Baker's led since late in the first half. They led by 4 at halftime. They're up by 5 right now. Lemaire, wraparound pass into Obanecki. Chisholm, that little jump hook inside, too hard. Well, it was a good look that time by Chisholm, but just put it up a little bit too hard. Gray has the ball for the Cats. Good switch by Collins outside to cut him off. Now Gray gets it over to Tyrone Parker. Parker around the screen. Down low. Gray had it knocked away, knocked out of bounds by Bobby Collins. Good defense by BC that time. Baker at inbound under their own bucket. Exactly 10 minutes to play, halfway through the second half. Gray. There's a jump shot off the baseline, and that's good. And that shot taken by Taylor Johnson. He just checked into the lineup. Johnson has 5. The lead is 7. Likes need a basket in the worst way right here. There's that zone. Baker still in the zone. Into Obanecki. Back out to Washington. Lemaire splits a double team. Now has it knocked away. But then Bramble throws it away. Vikes set the offense. Left wing to Lemaire. Vikes need a basket right here. 9:28 left. Good fake by Brody. Pulls up for about a 12-footer. Left it short. Boy, Brody just not really in much offensive rhythm right now.
Not at all. He kind of forced that one, and it was short.
9:15 left. It's a 7-point lead for the visiting Baker Wildcats, trying to win their second straight conference game. They upset William Penn at home on Saturday afternoon. Now Johnson guarded by Washington. Over to Bolton. Wraparound pass to Parker. Had it knocked away. Now taken away by Obanecki. And he's going to be fouled. And that foul is going to come up on Kelvin Bramble. That'll be his second. And that's team foul number 8 on Baker. So that will put Chisholm, I think Chisholm Obanecki on the line for a 1-and-1 right here with 8:55 left to play.
Easter comes in for the Wildcats. Hickey in for the Vikings. And I think this is the first time Javion Gray has been out of the ball.
Yeah, he comes out right now. Let's see if we can make some hay while he's on the bench.
I think it's his first trip out of the game.
Obanecki at the stripe. He'll be there for a 1-and-1. Chisholm, a junior out of Rolette, Texas. He got the roll. So Obanecki bounced that one off the back of the rim. It dropped down in. He's got 3 points. He'll have one more. If he hits this, he can make it a 5-point game. Obanecki, Hickey, Lemaire, Collins, Tim Washington, the 5 on the floor for Missouri Valley right now. And the second shot's perfect. So Obanecki knocks down both free throws, and there's another timeout on the floor. So 8:55 left to play. The Baker Wildcats trying to even their conference mark at 2-2. The Vikings trying to go to 3-1. Baker leads it right now, 64-59.
Baker shooting 56%, 25 out of 45. The Vikings 46%, 23 out of 50. From beyond the arc, 9 out of 17 of the Wildcats. The Vikings just 3 out of 11 from out there. Vikings 8 out of 12 free throws, or 10 out of 14, free throws. And 5 out of 10 of the Wildcats. So they really haven't helped themselves much from the free throw line. Turnovers, 13 for Baker, 7 for the Vikings. And rebounds, 23-24. The Vikings with a 1-rebound lead. So that's where Washington leading the Vikings with 13 points. And Martin has those 20 to lead Baker.
You know, and Ken, I'll tell you what, Baker, at least in this second half, has been a very resilient team. Every time the Vikings make a run, the Wildcats have answered it. So a lot of time left, though. Still almost 9 minutes left in the game. It's only a 5-point game.
Romeo Smith checks back in during that timeout.
Yeah, Romeo's had a pretty good night offensively. He's got 7 points. Might need to give him some bonus points in class for good performance. All right. Easter walks it across the timeline for the Cats. Picked up by Hickey. Easter gets it over to Bolton. Now on the left wing, it comes to Tyrone Parker. Parker drives baseline, puts it up and in. That was a nice take that time as Tyrone Parker put it on the deck with the left hand, laid it in. He's got 4 points. It's a 7-point game.
Well, we need to find a way to stop them from driving inside, don't we?
Yeah, pretty quick. Inside turnaround by Romeo. Good. There's that little jump hook, left-handed jump hook by Romeo Smith. Give him 9 in the game, 5-point game again. Vikes need some stops on the defensive end right now. Easter comes around a screen by Bramble. Outside to Bolton, now gives it back to Easter. In the corner to Taylor Johnson. It bounced off, I think they say it bounced off Darryl Lemaire's leg out of bounds. So Baker, with 11 seconds on the shot clock, will inbound on the far side.
Gray and Martin both on the bench right now.
Good place for him to stay.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be there too long.
Baseline pass into Bramble. Bramble goes in, and Romeo ties him up. And now, what do they call there? They call a jump. They could call a jump ball, and the Vikings with the alternate possession rule get the ball. Nice rebound that time by Romeo Smith.
8 minutes left.
Come on, guys. Kyle Hickey, head of the key, Bobby. Left wing over to Lemaire. Hickey. Vikes need some outside.
Yes.
Need to hit some from the outside here. Lemaire pulls up just outside the free throw line. Missed it. Rebound Easter. Now Kyle Hickey, or Tim Washington knocks it out. They say, hey, he knocked it off the leg of one of the Baker players.
Parker. Knocked it right off Parker's foot.
You know, you look at this Viking team, they really need Brody Gronwald's outside shooting. And that Baker's been in that zone the whole day, and Vikes just haven't got many good looks from the outside. 66-61, 7.5 minutes left to play. Inside, there's a turnaround inside by Romeo. Left this one short. Nice offensive rebound. Bobby Collins up and in. Bobby not very big, but he got in the lane. He skied that time. He's got 4 points. And we've got a 3-point game with 7:16 left.
Collins at 6'3", playing with those guys in there.
Now Parker. Little contact, no call. Deep three by Johnson off the right wing. Good. And Taylor Johnson buries his second triple of the half. He's got 8 points. And boy, Ken, every time we make a run, the Cats have an answer.
Every time, you are right.
6-point game. Deep three by Washington. Got it! Tim Washington, that's his 3rd triple of the game. 16 points for Timmy. Lead back to 3. Baker on top. Just under 7 minutes to go. Oh, nice block that time as Kyle Hickey jumps up and swats away that Greg Easter shot. So good D by the Vikes. Hickey signals over to the bench. We want to be sure Coach Chad Lance saw that block.
Make sure I got good credit.
I got all ball, Coach. Baker ball. Outside to Bolton. See if the Vikes can get a stop here. Gronwald almost gets a steal. 9 seconds on the shot clock. There's a drive inside by Parker. Oh, Parker gets inside again and he's fouled. Boy, Tyrone Parker, the Vikes, he's pretty quick off the dribble. The Vikes have had no answer for him driving into the paint.
Took that extra step and he was flying down the lane.
Romeo Smith gets a foul. That's the 3rd on Romeo, and that'll put Parker on the line for 2 shots. His first trip there tonight. And he got the first one. So Tyrone will have 1 more. 6 minutes and 21 seconds left to play. A 4-point Wildcat lead. They've led the entire second half. And he left this one way short. And Hickey comes down with the rebound. I believe Kyle's going to be fouled. And that should be a 1-and-1 as both teams now. That's a 9th team foul, I think, on Baker. And that foul comes up on, is that Vandy Hobson got that one? I think it was. So Vandy Hobson picks up his 3rd foul. That'll put Kyle Hickey out of Fort Worth, Texas. Kyle on the line for a 1-and-1 right here. He could make it a 2-point game if he can knock them both down. First shot by Kyle, got it. So Hickey is 2 out of 3 from the stripe. I've got him with 9 points in the game. He'll have 1 more shot here. Bingo, Kyle knocks them both down, folks. We've got a 2-point game. 70-68, 6 minutes and 17 seconds to go. I'm kind of surprised they've kept Javion Gray on the bench as long. Why not? Greg Easter buries a 3.
Wow.
Man, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 threes this half.
Wow.
How many is that in the game for
We'll check it here in a minute.
Hickey with a runner inside. Good. Nice take that time by Kyle Hickey. Kyle has 12. It's a 3-point game with 5:47 left to play. Hickey playing good defense on Easter. Easter inside to the big guy, Bramble. Bramble had it taken away, and I think they're going to call a foul on Bramble as he runs into Tim Washington. So good job as the Vikes take it away, and Bramble picks up his third foul. That should put Tim Washington on the line. This should be a two-shot fouls. That's the 10th foul on the Baker Wildcats.
They're 11 out of 19, 58% from beyond three. 11 out of 19.
All right. We make it, if Timmy can knock down a couple here, he can make this a 1-point game. He knocks down the first one. So Tim Washington, who had a big offensive game up at Graceland on Saturday, 17. I've got him with 17 right now. Second shot good. Make it 18. We got a 1-point game. 5.5 minutes left to play. Vikes have not led here in the second half. They led a good part of the first half, and now Coach Sean Dooley takes a timeout. So good game here. 5:31 left. 73-72. Baker in the lead.
I'm looking over there, and I still don't see Javion Gray. Yeah, okay.
Here
Just
he
gonna
comes.
say that he's going to come back in, and wouldn't be surprised to see Mr. Martin coming off that bench and getting back into the action as well, because we're at the 5:31 mark. It's 73-72. The Vikings score 76 a game. So do the Wildcats. And the Vikings give up 74. Baker gives up 76. So no surprise, it's a close game, and both teams just about at the scoring average here with 5.5 minutes to go.
Well, and you know Baker checking Javion Gray back in. He's the fuel that makes this engine run, so they're going to want him back on the floor. But Vikes made a good comeback. They were down by 7 not that long ago, and now it's a 1-point game with 5.5 left. So
Baker shooting 56%, 28 out of 50. The Vikings 48%, 27 out of 56.
And
The
kind of a
difference at
shame.
the three-point line.
Kind of a shame a lot of the students aren't here
Yeah.
tonight, Ken. This is the kind of game that they can really get into. And again, not a bad little crowd, but not many students here. A lot of them have gone home for Thanksgiving break already.
The key stat, that three-point line there, 11 out of 19. The Vikings 4 out of 12.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be Wildcat ball, as looks like that Parker will inbound to Javion. Javion's going to be picked up now by Kyle Hickey. Javion's been pretty quiet. He has not scored in the second half. Had 7 points in the first. Jump shot, Hobson off the baseline. Wow. You don't look for Vandy Hobson to shoot from the outside, but he did that time. Give him 7 points. Now the Cats get a steal. Easter drives up and lays it in. So a quick basket, a turnover, another basket, and what was a 1-point game is now back up to 5.
Good steal by Gray right in front of us. That's why I said look out, but he was able to stay in bounds.
I had my head down when he did
Flip
it.
it ahead to Parker.
Now Washington drives in, had it swatted away, but Romeo gets it. Romeo with that jump hook. Left this one short, gets a rebound, and he's fouled.
Good hustle by Smith. Yeah, he missed the shot, but he stayed after it, and he'll go to the line now. Good job.
So that's going to put, that foul is going to come up, I believe, on Javion. I think that's his first foul of the game. That'll put Romeo Smith on the line for 2 shots. Romeo's a junior out of Chicago, and he'll have 2 shots right here with 4:45 left to play here in regulation. Romeo, a southpaw, puts it in the air, got it. So the Vikes hit some big free throws here a minute. Tim Washington knocked a couple down a minute ago. Romeo gets his first one down. He'll have one more. It's good. So give Romeo 11 points in the game. Trims the Baker lead down to 3 with 4:44 left. Vikes need stops right now. Gray. Ooh, almost threw it away. Does throw it away as Easter can't run it down as they throw it right into the Baker bench. So I'd say that's almost an unforced turnover right there. As Javion Gray, just an errant pass, and Coach Sean Dooley went right to him. 4:32. Vikes need a basket here. Hickey out on the right wing. Kyle head of the key. Washington for the tie. This one misses. Ooh. Tim Washington, a good look that time. If that would have fallen, that would have tied it up. But Daniel Young gets a rebound for Baker. Javion Gray around a double screen, head of the key, gives it back to Hobson, who hands to Easter. Vikes in that man. Now Baker brings it out right around the Viking at midcourt. 11 on the shot clock. Parker right wing to Easter. Now back to Gray. Skip pass. Deep three by, is that Young?
Yeah.
Missed it. Daniel Young. I don't think that's probably the shot that Coach Sean Dooley wanted. So the Vikes can tie with a three. Down the lane with a jam. Romeo Smith with a jam. We've got a 1-point game.
Wow, nice pass from Hickey, and Romeo flushed it with a left hand.
Where art thou, Romeo? Right down the lane with that left-hand jam. Vikes with a stop here could then take the lead with a bucket. They need that stop first. I'm surprised that Clay Martin has not been back in the lineup for a while. Now they're going to call a foul, I think, on Romeo underneath. They're going to say Romeo holding on to Daniel Young, and that might not have been a bad foul because Daniel Young has not been to the line yet, and he'll be there for a 1-and-1 right now. Now Nathan Guscott gets set to check back in for Baker, and Chisholm Obanecki comes in from Missouri Valley. Romeo Smith, who's done a good job, takes a seat.
Good job by Romeo. 13 points.
Daniel Young with a 1-and-1 right here. Vikings down by 1. First shot in the air, good. So Young, first trip to the line, he had 4 points. Now he knocks down a free throw. He's got 5. He'll have one more to try to make it a 3-point game. Second shot, good. Ken Baker's only shot in this half, I've only got them with 5 free throws. They're 3 out of 5 in the second half. I think that's all they've shot.
Not shot many. They were about 50% for a while. They've upped that average since then.
79-76, 3 minutes and 17 seconds left. Outside to Growald, and he can use one of Brody's threes. Behind the back dribble, and Brody drives in at it, knocked away, and they're going to say it's off of him. As Brody penetrated right down the middle, they say he swatted that one off of his own leg. So Vikes turn it over, and here comes Mr. Martin back in the lineup.
Martin's back in. Good job by Parker, the minutes he plays, and Gus Scott's going to come right back out. Want the offense in there now. They want Martin.
A little press by the Vikings. 79-76. Baker leads it. We're down under 3 minutes to play, so getting to be crunch time right now. Javion Gray guarded by Kyle Hickey. It looks like the Wildcats want to run that shot clock down. It's down to 11 right now. Now Gray, now they'll go to work. Bikes in that man. Hickey is again on Gray. Hands over to Easter. Deep three by Easter. Missed it. I'm not sure that's a shot they wanted.
But
and
they
now
had to
knocked
take
out.
it, yeah.
I think that was a foul as somebody goes over Tim Washington's back.
34.
I think that's going to be a foul on Hobson, I believe. So
34.
Mandy Hobson whacks Tim Washington on the back of the head. So Timmy will go back to the line. He'll have 2 shots. He can make this a 1-point game with just over 2.5 minutes left to play. And Ken, I'd say he's a good man to have on the line. I'm not going to say what he is tonight, but I'd probably a pretty good man. Got it. I'll say it now. He's 4 out of 4.
And it's 10th foul, so we'll be shooting 2 the rest of the way. Both teams will be shooting 2 the rest of the way.
I've got 19 points for Timmy. He can have a 20-point game if he can knock this one down, and he does. It's a 1-point game, 79-78. 2.5 left.
Well, the Wildcats came down, took time off that clock, and did not get a very good shot. Let's see if they go back to the regular offense here.
Come on, D. Javion Gray's really been quiet on the offensive end. Now the Vikings almost get a steal. They get it in the corner to Mr. Martin. He missed it. Martin missed a wide open 3. Hickey with a rebound. Vikes can take the lead with a basket. Hands it out to Brody, and Brody's going to be grabbed by Greg Easter. And Easter said Growald initiated the contact, but that's not the way the officials see it, and that'll be Easter's first foul. And that'll put Brody Growald on the line. And Ken Brody, 1 basket in the first half, and that's been it. But add a free throw to that right now, and we are tied. Tied at 79. Growald can give the Vikings their first lead of this half if he can knock down the second charity toss here.
Well, they won the battle at three-point line. The Vikings have won the battle at the line. We're 19 out of 23.
And Brody gets them both. So for the first time since I guess, late in the first half. The Vikings have the lead. They lead it by 1, down 2 minutes. 2 minutes left in the game. This has been a good one. Javion Gray almost lost it. Young hands to Martin. Martin to Guscott. Good D by the Vikings. Vikes in that man. Down low, Hobson. Down to 9 on the shot clock. Good D by the Vikings. Gray to the basket. Puts it up, missed it. And I think he's going to be fouled. Well, that was a late call that time as Javion Gray took it down the middle with a left-hand dribble. Went up, thought maybe they weren't going to call anything, but then one of the officials blows the whistle. That's going to be a foul on Obanecki, and that'll be 2 shots for Javion.
Vikings, at this point, 20 out of 24 from the line. Wildcats, 8 out of 14.
Gray at the line, first shot, got the roll. Not a pretty shot, but it dropped. That's Javion's first trip to the line, give him 8. And Ken, that's the first bucket he's had. Remember, he hit that 3 out of the corner early in the first half. That's the last basket he's had.
Martin comes out, Parker back in for defense.
We're tied at 80, 1:44 left. Gray for the lead, got it. So Baker goes back up by 1. And it seems to boil down so many times when these teams play. Whoever can make plays down the stretch is going to win this. 81-80, Baker leads it. Vikes with the ball. A little pressure by the Cats. Washington back to Hickey. Now Kyle will set it ahead of the key. 1 minute and a half left. Kyle dribbling toward the right wing with 15 on the shot clock. Now Hickey to the basket. Runs over, and they're going to call a block, I think.
Yep,
they're going to call a block. Is that that's Taylor Johnson called for the block as Johnson stepped into the path. Kyle Hickey ran into him, but they say Johnson not set, so that's going to put Hickey on the line for 2 shots right here with 1:25 left to play.
Good quick move by the young man from Fort
Kyle
Worth,
saw that opening down the middle and took it. And knocks down the first free throw. So I tell you, you're right, Ken. The Vikings have really done a good job from the free throw line here in this second half.
21 out of 25 for the game. 83%. You'll take that every time out.
I've got him 17 out of 20 in the second half, make it 18 out of 21. And Hickey knocks down both free throws. Vikings back up by 1, 1:24 left to play. All right, Vikes need a stop on the defensive end. Javion Gray outside. Gray guarded by Bobby Collins. Comes around a double screen, back to Johnson. Guscott walked with it. Hey, they're going to call it. Nathan Guscott shuffled those feet right in front of the Baker bench, and he's whistled for traveling. So Vikes get the stop they needed on the defensive end with 1:06 left to play. Mo Valley up by a single point.
Big possession here.
Vikes need to run some clock and hopefully get some numbers out of this possession. Hickey guarded outside by Tyrone Parker. Hickey back to Gronwald. Brody picked up by Guscott. Brody baseline jumper. Got it! Hey, when you need him, there he is. And Brody Gronwald, that's only his second basket of the game. First field goal of the second half, but he scored 4 points here in the last few minutes. And the Vikings a 3-point lead with 49.2 seconds left to play.
That was a big bucket by the senior, Brody Gronwald, and a big couple of free throws by Kyle Hickey. 2 guys that you know have to lead this team, Joe. Both of them have stepped up here in the last couple of minutes.
Well, here's what you like about Brody. Brody, quite honestly, has not had a good shooting night, but yet he wants that ball and he makes a play when the game's on the line.
And Hickey had a couple of free throws. Let's see, Kyle is in double figures tonight as well. Right now, Baker's still shooting over 50%, 54%, 30 out of 55. Vikings 48%. The battle of threes won by Baker. They're 11 out of 22, 50%. But the free throws, how about this? The Vikings are 22 out of 26. Baker 10 out of 16 from the line. So that's the big stat right there.
I got Washington with 16. I got Hickey with 14. I've got Romeo Smith with 13. So Vikes have had pretty good balance. I think that's it in double figures. And Darryl Lemare's got 11. So the Vikings 4 players, I believe, in double figures. 49.2 seconds left to play. It'll be Wildcat ball. Got to stay on Clay Martin. He's been quiet here lately, but he's got, 6 threes in the game. So
he came out for defense. Parker is out now, and Martin back in on the offensive end.
You don't want to let Martin launch a 3 on you. He could tie this thing up pretty quickly. Vikings back off the press now. Drop back into the half-court man-to-man defense. 42 seconds left. Javion Gray. Gray to the baseline. Back out to Guscott. Gray takes a 3 for the tie. Short. Rebound Gronwald. Big possession right there. Vikes get it back. 27 seconds left. Vikes up by 3. Gronwald over to Washington. Vikes want to run some clock, and now Gray reaches around Tim Washington. So nice defensive possession by the Vikings that time.
Now you knock these down, it's not over, but it'd be great. It'd be a 2-possession game. Makes one of them, it's a 2-possession game.
Tim Washington's had a good night from the line. Let's see if he can knock down a couple now. If he can, these would be huge. Gets one of them, like you said, it will be a 2P game. First shot. Got it. Hadn't danced around for the longest time and fell in. Is that 21 for Washington?
They've got him at 23. Officially, he's got 23 points.
23, okay. I got him at 21. I must have missed one somewhere.
Yeah, it's 23 now.
Washington will have one more. Timmy missed this one. First miss he's had tonight. 17 seconds left. Vikings by 4. Gray to the hoop. Got it.
Wow.
The timeout Baker. So they get it to Mr. Money. Wow. Javion Gray takes it to the basket, lays it in. 12.3 seconds left to play. Missouri Valley 85, Baker 83.
Wow, the Vikings, it's never easy.
Nope.
Now you get still 12.3 seconds to go, so you know they're going to foul immediately.
I think we owe these guys one for football, don't we?
I'd hope so. Well, I don't think it would quite be the same. Early season game in basketball versus that war we had out there in football.
You know, though, when these two teams play, it's usually a battle right down to the wire.
Yep.
As Coach Sean Dooley said for the game, he said, we always go to the wire. It just seems like last couple of years the Vikings have made plays when the game's been on the line. Let's hope that holds true tonight.
23 points for Washington, 14 for Hickey, and 4 fouls by Remy Price. He's not out there right now, and I don't know if he'll bring him back in or not. The lineup that Coach has out there seems to be working, so he's going to stay with it.
Well, what do you do if you're Baker? Do you go for the foul right now, or do you try? I know you try to steal the inbound pass, but if you don't steal it, I think you try to get a quick foul.
You got a foul.
Both teams in the double bonus. For the Vikings, it'll be Hickey, Washington, Romeo Smith, Brody Gronwald, and Bobby Collins as the Wildcats will set up, looks like a full court man-to-man press. So Bobby Collins will inbound under the Baker basket. Bobby looking, gets it into Gronwald. Brody dribbles away from a double team. Now he's fouled by Javion Gray. So good job by Brody. I don't think they wanted to foul Brody, but he put the double team on him. He dribbled out of it, and then Javion Gray had no choice. That's his 3rd foul, but Brody Gronwald could make this a 2-possession game with 7.8 seconds left to play. First shot, bingo, knocks it down. And Brody can put the Vikes, it's not over, but could put him in good position if he could hit this second free throw. 7.8 seconds. Gronwald knocked down his last 3. This one, got it!
Got it.
So the Vikings, a 2-possession game. Don't make any mistakes, guys. Gray, outside Taylor Johnson, deep 3. No good. Vikes are going to win it. Vikes win it. They're 3-1. Vikes are 3-1 in conference play, and going to be a happy Thanksgiving at the Lance House as the Vikings off to a great start in the Heart of America Conference.
Yeah, big win there, too, because even though just a 1 win by Baker, they're a good team. The only other score we have tonight, Central Methodist beat Mount Mercy, so they go to 3-1. And we know the Vikings go to 3-1 as well. That's the only score that's in right now. So the Vikes win this one, and we'll get Chad Lance over here. Just quickly before we get the coach over here, Baker shot 31 out of 58, 54%. Vikings 29 out of 60. How about the free throws? 25 out of 30, the Vikings from the free throw line tonight.
Yeah,
so
that made the difference in the game, and they hit a bunch of them down the stretch.
So that was the big one. We'll get Chad Lance over here for just a moment or two and talk about tonight's ball game before we wrap things up. Nice win for the Vikings tonight as they win it, and they go to 3-1 in the conference here at home. So we'll get Coach over here for just a couple of minutes. He has to go home probably, and you have to go home probably cook a turkey tonight, so we won't keep you very long here, but that's a pretty sweet win. Nice comeback, Coach.
Well, that was a battle the whole way. I thought we got off to a pretty decent start to start off with, and then they did some things defensively and offensively that challenged us. And, I mean, that's a good ball club. Their bigs are very active, and they move, and their guards got downhill. And, you know, we were trying to switch defensively just so we could stay in front of some people, which sometimes when you do that, if a team moves the ball real well on you, it causes some mismatch problems, which it did. And a lot of teams have been zoning us. We haven't shot the ball particularly well inside or outside. Our percentage looks good, but we haven't had enough guys make shots from the perimeter, and we haven't had enough guys diligently enough, night in, night out, scoring the paint.
You know, Brody struggled offensively. A lot of that was good defense, but when you had to have a shot, he hit it. Kyle Hickey came up big. Two seniors that you need to come up big came up big in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, they definitely did. I mean, I liked that our approach, we kept battling and we kept fighting. And, you know, we looked like a bunch of small guys running out there. We weren't as big as we normally play. And, you know, I'm happy as can be for Romeo Smith. He's just been trying to stay the course, and he's been in foul trouble. And, you know, he's a good talent. We recruited the heck out of Romeo. I just gave him a big hug out there that it was good to see him be able to play for 40 minutes and do a lot of good things for us.
Coach, that comeback in the second half, it was 7-8. We couldn't stop Martin. He was red hot. I think they shot over 50% from beyond the arc. But your free throws tonight, I had you, I think, 21 out of 26, something like that for the game. You do that, you're going to win a lot of basketball games.
Well, it definitely kept us in the ball game, more so than anything. Is we weren't getting enough stops, and they were getting some scores, and we were able to get some foul calls and still keep us in the ball game.
3-1 at the break in this conference. Man, that sounds pretty good, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It definitely does. So, you know, we got to get better. I think we're growing. We're a new team. Guys are trying to figure out how to play night in, night out, and it's important that everybody is engaged. And, you know, Q, this is the first time I've actually had a group of guys that 1 through 15 that can play. And I got some guys sitting on the bench that right now just aren't getting a lot of minutes, and that's some tough stuff to handle. I understand that, and but when we needed some guys to step up, they sure did tonight.
Coach, your bench scoring 44-37, so you're right, you're getting that, and 24-6 off turnovers. So you did the things you have to do to win. Nice win. Take a couple of days off, right? You've probably got a turkey and a ham to cook probably next.
I'm sure we're going to have the fixings at the house.
And then next week, 3 games. How important that's going to be before the finals week? Wow.
Well, it is. You know, we got Mount Mercy here at home, and then I think we go on the road to Evangel.
Yep, and then home against Mid-Am.
And then home against Mid-Am. So, I mean, that's a heck of a week, play 3 games in a week. So we got a chance to get a little bit of rest, but we're going to be here this break. I'm in here practicing and trying to get some things figured out and get better.
All right, Coach, good job tonight.
All right, thank you.
We appreciate it. Well, we turn things over to Joe for just a moment. Joe, how about some scoring of this ball game before we wrap things up for the Thanksgiving break?
Well, good night. Good comeback for the Vikings as Baker led most of the second half, and the Vikings made some plays down the stretch, and really a great game. Great team win all the way around. Again, what a game from Tim Washington. Timmy winds up with 23 points. He was 7 out of 15 from the floor, 3 out of 7 from beyond the arc, but he's the leading scorer in the game for both teams. 23 points. The Vikings, 4 players in double figures, 4 for Kyle Hickey, 13 for Romeo Smith. Romeo also with 8 rebounds, the leading rebounder for the Vikings, 11 points for Darryl Lemaire in double figures, and then it looks like 6 points each for Brody Growald. Not that many for him, but Brody hit a basket and 2 big free throws down the stretch. He had 6. Remy Price also had 6. 4 points each for Devontae Halfacre, Bobby Collins, and Chisholm Obanecki. They all had 4, and then 2 points in the game for the big guy, Lawrence Horner. For Baker, the guy that almost shot them to the victory column was Clay Martin, who was a 6 out of 10 from beyond the arc. He rounded up with 20 points. The only other player in double figures was Greg Easter, who came off the bench. Easter wound up with 10. 9 points for Javion Gray. Looks like 7 points each for Vandy Hobson off the bench. Also Tyrone Parker off the bench. Good job by him. And Nathan Guscott also wound up with 7. 6 points in the game for Daniel Young. 5 points for both Tyrone Parker and Kelvin Bramble. Looks like 4 points for Brett Elfritz. He got into foul trouble early. 3 points in the game for C.J. Bolton. And I think that winds it up for Baker.
All right, couple scores. Central Methodist beat Mount Mercy tonight 90-78, and it was Graceland over Clark 96-82. Those are the only 2 scores we have. Well, we're done for a few days. We'll be back Monday right around 5:30. Mount Mercy will be here. It's a 3-game week. Vikings are 3-1 heading into the Thanksgiving break. So, Joe, it's going to be a fun season. Great start for the Vikings.
Oh, it really was, and I really. Ken, you know, you kind of had the feeling Baker was in control that second half. They kept answering the call every time the Vikes would score. But when they had to do it, the Viking defense got some stops. Guys came through both from the free throw line and hit some big buckets from the field. And it's nice to be 3-1. That's a good feeling because I think this conference race is going to be very well balanced, pretty well from top to bottom.
All right, so we're out of here. We'll see you Monday about 5:30. Women lose, the men win. Good night for the men. Tough night for the ladies. For Joe All, Ken Cuiava, and our entire live stream crew, Chaz Maddie, and everyone working with him tonight, thanks for being with us. So long from Marshall.